homicide at 6901 Broadway.
My first few months in jail, I honestly felt that someone had made a mistake and they would find out the truth that it wasn't me.
Police are investigating the rape and murder of 8-year-old Karen Smith.
Police say David Bryant has confessed to the crime.
I was in there for 11 and a half hours being questioned by officers. Brittany said, well, you know, if you want to get out of here, you just got to sign your name. I did not never read the paper, and I signed my name.
David was innocent. That's what had my hair on fire.
42 years for nothing. A new film that highlights the 4-decade journey to freedom for David Bryant. Set to a motion picture is breaking this case. Basically, DNA broke this case. This morning, we are the voice for victims, as always. And who's the victim here? David's journey is unbelievable. The DNA breakthrough, which freed him from a life behind bars. This was David Bryant the day he was arrested for the heinous murder of Karen Smith, an 8-year-old little girl, raped, stabbed to death at a stairway in a Bronx apartment building. This guy was enemy number one back in 1975. People thought he was responsible. Well, David is a free man now, exonerated on all charges he faced from that crime, not only after spending 40 years behind bars. Let's bring in our guest in studio, director and producer of this new film, 42 Years for Nothing, Lana Adams, and remotely, David Bryant is with us. David, good morning to you. This journey that you've been on, people can only imagine. Talk, if you will, about what was going through your mind during this period of time where you were innocent and you're sitting behind. Did you think that, oh, this is just a big mistake, or were you confident? At what point, or if at any, did you sort of lose your fight and think, oh gosh, I'm going to be here the rest of my life?
I never gave up hope that I knew I didn't do this crime. This was something I knew I didn't do, you know what I mean, without a doubt, no matter how they put the hat on me to make me believe that I did it, I didn't do it. And I said I would die first before I ever find myself in that situation. And that was what I was committed to.
In your case, you were freed from prison, and then you ended up going back 14 months later because they kept coming at you. And what was that moment like when you were handcuffed again and you were headed back to prison? How difficult was that and how demoralizing?
Well, I knew the first time that they let me out in 2013, I was actually innocent. You know, the law, what they would say, I proved that I was innocent. And I had faith in not just me, but the system that if they know the truth would set me free. Going back was not a problem because I really believed that they heard it the first time, we'd do it again, and we did.
And you'd done enough time to be comfortable with what you had to endure, I'm sure. Lana, tell us about what we're going to learn from this film. What stands out to you as, I mean, it's a story that has been told before, but it's a heartbreaker on all levels. Yeah. What should we expect if when we watch this?
I really want people to take away David's hope and perseverance, like how strong he was to be in prison for that long. And there were several times he went to the parole board and they said, hey, just admit it. And he never did. He never said he did it. He lost his entire family. They all passed away while he was in prison. And the whole time he still maintained his innocence, even when he could have gotten out earlier if he had just said that he did it. And so I think I want people to take away to never give up and stand 10 toes down on what you believe in. It's just a reminder to do that.
Did David, was there a moment where you would have been released likely on parole if you just admit what you did scenario? And was there ever a temptation to do that?
Nah, never. I was going to the board after serving 25 years to life. And when I went at 25 years, it made me eligible for parole if I just admitted that I did it. And I said, I know I didn't do it, no matter what it would take. I'm not gonna say I did it. And I went to 7 parole boards.
You're emotional even now. Why?
Because it'll always be touching in my life. It'll always be part of my life.
This, what is your life like? You lost your family. You came out to the outside. How difficult was that transition, and how are you doing now? Well, what are you doing now? Give us a sense of your day-to-day life, and mentally, how are you coping? Because it obviously is not easy.
Through my perseverance of just being me and fighting no matter what for the right things, I felt that I wasn't a teacher. I didn't have nothing great going, but I would want to just pass it on, the goodness, the fight that I have in me. And I use that now as a motivation to keep me going each and every day, from my dog right on up to people and everything. So that's pretty much my job, just trying to keep myself going and just be happy with the moment that I have now in my life.
Was it a difficult transition?
Very, very difficult. I mean, I try to help others and assist others with that transformation of what it's like to come out of prison and restart all over again. It's a tough moment. It's hard.
I can only imagine. Lana Karen Smith, the victim in this case, who killed her? And what has that family, I mean, I know that family was ripped apart by this horrible, horrible crime. Talk to us about Karen Smith.
From what we know, we don't know still who did this. Karen's family still believes that David did it up until this point. There was a young boy, Billy Tyler, which people will see in the film, that was Karen's friend, that was forced into a false confession to say that he saw David with Karen and he saw him do it. And that came out later, and Billy Tyler has since recanted, but they didn't even use his recantation in David's case.
And the DNA, just so people are aware, this was a test, a blood type test, which pretty much rules him out, rules David out.
Yep.
His attorney didn't ask for that basic test back then. This all could have been avoided. But everyone is, outside of the victim's family, is on board now here that David should be out. Prosecutors as well have come to this conclusion because of this evidence.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and it was very clear once the DNA came out that David did not do this, but you know, because of prosecutorial misconduct and people trying to kind of cover themselves, they did the wrong thing, made the wrong choice, and left someone in jail for a very long time.
David, does it hurt that Karen's family still believes you did it?
Well, you know, I can't say what they would feel, because even as me thinking as a victim, I'm a victim. I know it's hard. I know it's hard on the family. I do know the family. I know the two twins. I was part of knowing their family. And, you know, to know this day that there's no resolution to know who really did this, it hurts me just as much.
That's well said. David Bryant, thank you, and your story is a motivation, yes, to always keep going and don't lose hope, because I can't imagine not losing hope in what you endured. Lana, we're now into the point of you've produced the film. It's film festival time, I guess, right? And then it'll be distributed after that.
Yes, that's the goal. We've entered a few film festivals. We're waiting to hear back. We'll be hearing back through the spring. And then the goal is to get this on streaming. And then eventually we would like to produce a scripted series based on David's story.
All right, thank you both. David, thank you. Lana Adams, thank you. The film, 42 Years for Nothing. We're gonna take a break, but before we do, take a moment to remember, as we do on this show, the victim in this case, 8-year-old little girl who was brutally raped and murdered. Her killer never brought to justice. Let's get a break, and we'll be right back right after this.